Texas, an expanse of land as vast as it is varied, has always been a place of resilience and transformation. From the towering pines of the east to the sun-baked deserts of the west, and from the rolling plains to the shimmering Gulf Coast, this state has long been a crossroads of nature and history. For centuries, Texas has been shaped by the forces of migration and settlement, early explorers and settlers, seeking opportunity and new beginnings, brought with them not only their hopes and dreams, but also seeds, livestock and goods from distant lands. Yet alongside the intended arrivals, a silent invasion began, one that would slowly, almost imperceptibly, alter the very fabric of Texas's natural world. This invasion was not waged by armies, but by plants, animals, and insects that had never before set root or paw on Texan soil. These are the invasive species, organisms that once introduced thrive at the expense of the native life that has called Texas home for millennia. Many arrived by accident, stowed away in the holds of ships docking at bustling ports like Galveston, or hidden in the soil of imported plants. Others were brought intentionally with the hope they would serve a purpose, perhaps as livestock, ornamentals, or even as a means of pest control. But in the absence of the natural predators, diseases, and competitors that kept them in check in their homelands, these newcomers found Texas to be a land of opportunity, one where they could multiply unchecked, overwhelming the native species that had evolved here over thousands of years. The ecological impact has been profound. Invasive plants like the salt cedar and giant reed choke riverbanks, sucking up precious water and crowding out native willows and cottonwoods. Non-native animals, such as the voracious feral hog, root through fields and forests, leaving destruction in their wake and outcompeting native deer and turkey for food. The cost of this invasion is staggering. Each year, Texas loses billions of dollars to damaged crops, ruined pastures, and the relentless repair of property and infrastructure. Waterways become clogged with hydrilla and water hyacinth, making navigation impossible and threatening the livelihoods of fishermen and ranchers alike. Native wildlife, from the stately white-tailed deer to the elusive horned lizard, find themselves pushed to the margins, their habitats shrinking as invaders take over. The fight to reclaim Texas is ongoing. Biologists and land stewards work tirelessly, pulling invasive plants from riverbanks, trapping feral hogs, and restoring native prairies. Consider the red imported fire ant, first introduced in the 1930s through the port of Mobile, Alabama, and now a scourge across Texas. Or the feral hog, whose numbers have exploded to over 2 million, tearing up fields and threatening livestock. Even a simple walk in the woods can bring a man face to face with these invaders, turning a peaceful outing into a confrontation with a foreign enemy. This is not a battle for scientists and officials alone. Every Texan, rancher, farmer, fisherman, and outdoorsman has a stake in the outcome. Some invaders, like the Africanized honeybee, pose direct threats to human health, delivering painful stings and even causing fatalities. Others, like the giant salvinia, can render lakes unusable, robbing communities of recreation and sustenance. Fishing, boating, and hunting, cornerstones of the Texan way of life, are under siege. Imagine a favorite fishing hole rendered useless by mats of invasive weeds, or a hunting ground where native game has vanished, replaced by aggressive newcomers. Picture a boat ramp so overgrown with aquatic plants that launching a boat is impossible, or a park where the threat of bee swarms keeps visitors on constant alert. In small towns and rural communities, the struggle is especially acute. Men gather to clear overgrown lots, repair fences, and share stories of the latest encounters with wild hogs or swarms of stinging insects. The sense of siege is real and the enemy is relentless. To fight back, Texans must first understand the invaders, where they came from, how they spread, and the damage they inflict. Knowledge is the first line of defense. By mapping infestations and studying the habits of these species, researchers and land managers can develop strategies to slow their advance. This journey will introduce you to some of the most destructive invaders, creatures and plants that have changed the face of Texas, sometimes in ways that cannot be undone. We will explore their origins, the surprising and often dramatic ways they impact our environment and our lives, and the immense challenges they present to those who call Texas home. By learning about these invaders, Texans can better appreciate the scale of the threat and the urgent need to protect the land, water, and wildlife that define the Lone Star State for generations of men to come. Deep in the tangled Texas brush, a relentless and destructive invader is on the move, one that has changed the landscape of the state in profound ways. Feral hogs, often referred to as super predators, are a hybrid species, descendants of escaped domestic pigs and hardy European wild boars. This genetic mix has made them incredibly adaptable and resilient. The story of feral hogs in Texas begins centuries ago, when Spanish explorers first brought domestic pigs to the region in the 1500s. Over time, some of these pigs escaped or were released, establishing wild populations. In the 20th century, the introduction of European wild boars for sport hunting led to interbreeding, creating the aggressive and prolific feral hogs we see today. Today, it's estimated that more than 3 million feral hogs roam Texas, making it the state with the largest feral hog population in the United States. These animals are found in nearly every county, thriving in environments ranging from dense forests to open grasslands. Feral hogs are astonishingly prolific breeders. A single sow can produce 2 litters per year, with each litter containing up to 12 piglets. This rapid reproduction means that populations can triple in just over a year if left unchecked. Their reproductive success is a key reason why feral hogs are so difficult to control. Even with aggressive management, their numbers can rebound quickly, overwhelming efforts to reduce their population. The impact of feral hogs on Texas agriculture is staggering. These animals are like living rototillers, using their powerful snouts and sharp tusks to root up soil in search of roots, tubers, insects, and small animals. Their rooting behavior destroys crops, pastures, and infrastructure, leaving behind fields of churned earth and ruined vegetation. Each year, feral hogs cause more than $400 million in agricultural losses in Texas alone. They damage everything from corn and wheat fields to hay pastures and rice paddies. Their destruction isn't limited to farms. Feral hogs have been known to tear up golf courses, sports fields, and suburban lawns, leaving behind a trail of devastation wherever they go. Ecologically, feral hogs are equally damaging. Their rooting and wallowing erode riverbanks, destroy native plants, and contribute to soil erosion. This runoff can pollute rivers and streams, harming aquatic life and water quality. Feral hogs are opportunistic omnivores. They will eat almost anything, including the eggs of ground-nesting birds like quail and turkey, as well as reptiles, amphibians, and even newborn fawns and livestock. This predation puts additional pressure on already vulnerable native wildlife populations. Beyond their environmental and economic impacts, feral hogs are a significant threat to animal and human health. They can carry more than 30 different diseases and parasites, including swine brucellosis, pseudorabies, and leptospirosis. These diseases can be transmitted to livestock, pets, and humans, either through direct contact or contaminated water and soil. Outbreaks can devastate herds and pose serious public health risks. Farmers and ranchers must remain vigilant, as feral hogs can spread disease to cattle, horses, sheep, goats, and even domestic pets. People working in fields or handling hog carcasses are also at risk. While direct attacks on people are rare, feral hogs can be extremely dangerous when cornered or threatened. Adult boars can weigh over 300 pounds and possess razor-sharp tusks capable of inflicting serious injury. Incidents involving feral hogs have resulted in injuries and, in rare cases, fatalities, serving as a stark reminder of the risks these animals pose to rural communities. Recognizing the scale of the problem, the state of Texas has declared an all-out war on feral hogs. State agencies, landowners, and hunters are all engaged in the fight to control their numbers. There are no bag limits and no closed seasons for hunting feral hogs in Texas. They can be hunted year-round, day or night, with almost any legal weapon. Hunters are permitted to use helicopters, advanced night vision, and thermal imaging equipment to track and eliminate hogs, reflecting the urgency of the situation. Yet feral hogs are highly intelligent and adaptable. They quickly learn to avoid traps and hunters, changing their movement patterns and becoming more elusive over time. These animals are mostly nocturnal, often moving under the cover of darkness and using thick brush for protection, making them even harder to control. Despite aggressive management and innovative control measures, the feral hog population in Texas continues to grow, posing a persistent and ever-expanding threat to the state's agriculture, ecosystems, and communities. The battle against these invaders is ongoing, and the stakes for Texas have never been higher. They may be small, but their impact is enormous, affecting nearly every aspect of life in Texas, from the environment to the economy. Red imported fire ants, scientifically known as, are among the most notorious invasive species in Texas, recognized for their aggressive behavior and ability to dominate new environments. These ants first arrived in the United States from South America in the 1930s. Most likely concealed in the soil used as ballast in cargo ships docking at southern ports. The warm, humid climate of the southern states, especially Texas, provided ideal conditions for their rapid establishment and spread. Today, red, imported fire ants infest more than 300 million acres across Texas, thriving in urban lawns, parks, pastures, and vast agricultural fields. Their signature mounds, often built in open, sunny areas, can reach up to 18 inches in height and house colonies containing hundreds of thousands of ants, including multiple queens in some cases. The most infamous feature of fire ants is their painful sting, which delivers a potent alkaloid venom. When a mound is disturbed, thousands of ants erupt from the soil, swarming with remarkable speed and aggression to defend their colony. Each ant can sting repeatedly, injecting venom that causes an intense burning sensation and leaves behind a characteristic white pustule, which can persist for days. While most stings result in pain and discomfort, a small percentage of the population may experience severe allergic reactions, including anaphylactic shock, which can be life-threatening without prompt medical attention. Texas hospitals treat thousands of fire ant sting cases annually, with some requiring emergency intervention due to severe allergic responses. The economic toll of red imported fire ants is staggering, with annual damages and control costs estimated at over $6 billion across the southern United States. In Texas, these ants destroy crops, damage equipment, and increase production costs for farmers and ranchers. Fire ants are also notorious for their attraction to electrical currents. They frequently invade electrical boxes, traffic lights, and air conditioning units, chewing through insulation and causing short circuits and equipment failures. At Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport, fire ants once disabled critical landing systems, forcing the airport to spend over $100,000 on repairs and prevention. In agriculture, fire ants feed on seeds, roots, and young plants, reducing yields of crops like corn, soybeans, and potatoes. They also attack and sometimes kill newborn livestock, such as calves, goats, and chickens, compounding losses for producers. The biology of red imported fire ants is a key factor in their success. Colonies can be monogyne with a single queen or polygyne with multiple queens, allowing for rapid population growth and spread. Fire ants have developed resistance to many common pesticides, making chemical control challenging. Colonies can relocate quickly if threatened, and surviving queens can re-establish the population. Their adaptability is remarkable, Fire ants can survive drought, extreme heat, and even some chemical treatments, making them formidable invaders. During floods, fire ants display extraordinary teamwork by linking their bodies together to form living rafts, protecting the queen, and brood in the center as they float for days or even weeks until reaching dry land. Once they reach safety, the colony quickly establishes a new mound, ensuring their survival and continued expansion. The spread of red imported fire ants has also had devastating effects on native species. They outcompete native ants, reduce populations of ground-nesting birds, reptiles and small mammals, and disrupt local ecosystems. Native ants are often displaced or eliminated, while ground-nesting birds and reptiles suffer from predation on eggs and hatchlings, leading to declines in biodiversity. Managing fire ants requires an integrated approach. Chemical baits, mound drenches, and broadcast treatments are commonly used, but their effectiveness varies. Biological control agents such as phorid flies and pathogenic fungi are being researched and released to help suppress fire ant populations. Phorid flies, for example, lay eggs in fire ants, and their larvae consume the ant from within, helping to reduce colony numbers. Ongoing research aims to find sustainable, long-term solutions to this persistent problem. Public education and community-wide management efforts are crucial. Coordinated treatments across neighborhoods, parks, and farms can help reduce reinfestation and slow the spread of these invasive ants. Despite these efforts, the adaptability and resilience of red imported fire ants ensure they remain a persistent and painful challenge for Texas, threatening agriculture, infrastructure, and native wildlife alike. In the shadows of the night, a stealthy insect known as the kissing bug poses a silent but deadly threat to Texans. These insects, active after dark, are rarely seen but can have a profound impact on public health. Kissing bugs, or triatomine bugs, are native to the Americas. In Texas, their interaction with humans is becoming more frequent and dangerous, especially as their habitats overlap with growing communities. These bugs are drawn to the carbon dioxide exhaled by sleeping individuals, which helps them locate their hosts at night. Their name comes from their unsettling habit of biting sleeping victims on the face, often near the lips or eyes, where the skin is thin and blood vessels are close to the surface. The bite itself is usually painless and not the main problem, but it sets the stage for something far more dangerous. After feeding on blood, the kissing bug often defecates near the bite wound. This is a critical moment in the transmission of Chagas disease. The bug's feces can contain the parasite Trypanosoma cruzi, which is responsible for Chagas disease. When a sleeping person instinctively scratches the itchy bite, the infected feces can be rubbed into the wound or even into the eyes or mouth, allowing the parasite to enter the body. Once inside, Trypanosoma cruzi enters the bloodstream and begins its silent invasion, leading to Chagas disease. In Texas, it is estimated that over 300,000 people are infected with Chagas disease, though most remain unaware of their condition. Chagas is often called a silent killer. The initial infection may cause mild symptoms like fever, fatigue, or swelling at the bite site, but these signs are easily overlooked or mistaken for other illnesses. After the acute phase, the disease enters a long, silent stage. During this time, the parasite primarily attacks the heart muscle, slowly causing damage over years or even decades. Over time, this damage can lead to serious and life-threatening heart problems, including an enlarged heart, abnormal heart rhythms, and eventually sudden heart failure. In Texas, Chagas disease is a leading cause of non-ischemic cardiomyopathy in some regions. Across the Americas, Chagas disease is responsible for an estimated 30,000 deaths each year, with Texas reporting new cases annually. Many victims die from sudden cardiac arrest, never realizing they were infected. The disease can also cause digestive complications, such as an enlarged esophagus or colon, though these are less common. This hidden danger makes Chagas a major public health concern in Texas. often going unrecognized until it is too late for effective treatment. The threat from kissing bugs is growing. In Texas, these insects are found in both rural and urban settings, and their range is expanding. Recent research shows that more than half of the kissing bugs collected in Texas carry the Chagas parasite, making local transmission a real risk. Traditionally found in wooded and rural areas, kissing bugs are now being discovered in suburban and urban environments, partly due to climate change, urban sprawl, and changes in wildlife populations. These bugs can live in doghouses, woodpiles, and cracks in home foundations, bringing them into close contact with people and their pets. Dogs are especially vulnerable and can also develop Chagas disease. Preventing Chagas disease starts with awareness. Texans are urged to seal cracks in homes, keep pets indoors at night, remove woodpiles and brush near houses, and use screens on windows and doors. Regularly inspecting sleeping areas and pet shelters for signs of kissing bugs is also recommended. The Texas Department of State Health Services continues to monitor Chagas disease and kissing bug populations, providing resources and guidance to help protect communities across the state. Ongoing research and public education are crucial in the fight against this hidden threat. By staying informed and taking preventive measures, Texans can reduce their risk and help stop the spread of Chagas disease. Imagine a tiny mollusk, barely the size of your fingernail, causing massive disruptions across Texas lakes and rivers. That's exactly what's happening with zebra mussels, one of the most notorious aquatic invaders in the state. Zebra mussels are originally from the Caspian and Black Seas region of Eastern Europe. Their journey to North America began in the 1980s, when they were transported in the ballast water of transatlantic cargo ships arriving in the Great Lakes. Once introduced, zebra mussels rapidly spread through interconnected waterways, hitching rides on currents, boats, and equipment, making their way southward. In Texas, zebra mussels were first confirmed in 2009 at Lake Texoma. Since then, they've infested more than 30 lakes, with new reports emerging almost every year. Their reproductive capacity is staggering. A single female can release up to 1 million eggs annually, allowing populations to explode in a short time. The impact on water systems is severe. Zebra mussels clog water intake pipes for cities, power plants, and factories, leading to costly maintenance and repairs. These mussels attach to any hard surface, rocks, docks, boat hulls, and even other aquatic animals, forming dense colonies several inches thick. Water intake pipes become completely blocked, reducing water flow and requiring frequent, expensive cleaning. In some cases, entire systems have had to be shut down for repairs. At Lake Texoma alone, damages from zebra mussels are estimated at $22 million each year, a figure that continues to rise as the infestation spreads. For recreational users, zebra mussels are a constant headache. Their presence can disrupt boating, fishing, and swimming activities. Their sharp shells cover docks, ladders, and beaches, making them hazardous to walk on and capable of causing deep, painful cuts. Ecologically, zebra mussels are filter-feeding machines. They consume vast amounts of plankton, the foundation of the aquatic food web. An adult zebra mussel can filter up to 1 liter of water per day, removing essential nutrients and food for native species. This filtration clears the water, but it also starves native fish and other aquatic life, leading to a dramatic decline in biodiversity. Plankton populations plummet, which means less food for small native fish and ultimately for larger sport fish like bass and catfish. As a result, the entire food chain is disrupted, and populations of prized sport fish can crash. In some infested lakes, native fish populations have collapsed, fundamentally altering the ecosystem. Zebra mussels are also incredibly resilient. They can survive out of water for up to 30 days in cool, damp conditions. This ability allows them to spread easily between lakes, often by attaching to boats, trailers, and fishing gear. When boats or equipment are moved from an infested lake to a clean one without proper cleaning, zebra mussels can quickly establish new populations. Even microscopic larvae, called veligers, can be transported in standing water inside boats or bait buckets, making prevention a real challenge. A single boat can carry enough villagers to start a new infestation in a previously unaffected lake. Eradication of zebra mussels is extremely difficult once they're established. Texas has focused on prevention, educating boaters to clean, drain, and dry all equipment before moving between lakes. Strict regulations and public awareness campaigns are in place to slow their spread, but the fight against zebra mussels is ongoing, requiring constant vigilance and cooperation from everyone who enjoys Texas waters. Texas skies and neighborhoods are home to more than just native birds and insects. They're also filled with flying invaders that threaten public health, agriculture, and native wildlife in profound ways. The Asian tiger mosquito, or Aedes albopictus, is one of the most dangerous invasive species in Texas. Recognizable by its striking black and white striped legs and body, this mosquito is not just a nuisance. It's a significant vector for disease. First detected in Houston in 1985, after hitching a ride in a shipment of used tires from Asia, the Asian tiger mosquito has rapidly colonized the entire state. Its ability to adapt to both urban and rural environments has made it a persistent problem. Unlike many native mosquitoes that are most active at dawn and dusk, the Asian tiger mosquito is aggressive and bites throughout the day. This behavior increases the risk of disease transmission and makes outdoor activities uncomfortable for everyone. The Asian tiger mosquito is an incredibly efficient breeder. It can lay eggs in the smallest amounts of standing water, anything from a bottle cap to a clogged gutter or a discarded tire. The eggs are resilient, surviving dry periods and hatching when water returns. Beyond being a relentless annoyance, this mosquito is a major public health threat. Its rapid reproduction and adaptability make it difficult to control, especially in densely populated areas. The Asian tiger mosquito is a known carrier of more than 30 viruses, including West Nile virus, Zika, dengue fever, and chikungunya. These diseases can cause severe illness, long-term health complications, and in some cases, death. In 2012, a major West Nile virus outbreak in the Dallas area was largely attributed to this species. The outbreak led to widespread concern and prompted emergency mosquito control measures across the region. Over 400 people were infected and 19 lives were lost. Hospitals and public health agencies were pushed to their limits, highlighting the urgent need for effective mosquito control. The Asian tiger mosquito thrives in urban and suburban environments, often resisting common pesticides. Control initiatives include public education campaigns, targeted spraying, and community cleanup efforts to eliminate standing water. However, the mosquito's resilience and adaptability make eradication extremely challenging. Another notorious invader is the feral European starling, a bird that has become a widespread pest across Texas and North America. In a strange twist of history, about 60 starlings were intentionally released in New York's Central Park in 1890 by a group determined to introduce every bird mentioned in Shakespeare's plays to North America. This well-intentioned act unleashed a biological disaster. From that small group, the starling population exploded to over 200 million birds, now found coast to coast. Their adaptability and aggressive behavior have made them one of the most successful and destructive invasive birds on the continent. Starlings travel in massive, swirling flocks called murmurations, sometimes numbering in the tens of thousands. These flocks can darken the sky and overwhelm entire landscapes. In Texas, these birds descend on grain fields and livestock feedlots, consuming an estimated $20 million worth of agricultural products each year. Their droppings contaminate feed, spread disease, and damage equipment. Starlings are not just agricultural pests, they're ecological bullies. They aggressively compete with native birds for nesting sites, often driving out species like bluebirds, woodpeckers, and purple martins. These invaders destroy eggs, evict native chicks, and monopolize nesting cavities, leading to declines in native bird populations and disrupting local ecosystems. Large starling flocks also pose a serious threat to aviation. Their sudden movements and dense numbers can cause catastrophic bird strikes. In 1960, a plane taking off from Boston struck a flock of starlings, resulting in a crash that killed 62 people. This tragedy underscored the dangers these birds pose to air travel. The droppings from starling roosts can carry fungal spores that cause histoplasmosis, a respiratory disease in humans. Large accumulations of droppings also damage buildings and create hazardous conditions. Control efforts for both Asian tiger mosquitoes and feral European starlings are ongoing. Mosquito management relies on eliminating breeding sites using larvicides and public education. For starlings, methods include habitat modification, exclusion devices, and in some cases, targeted removal. Despite these efforts, both species remain formidable challenges requiring constant vigilance and community cooperation to protect Texas' health, agriculture, and native wildlife. Texas is facing a new and formidable challenge as two notorious invaders, Burmese pythons and snakehead fish, threaten to upend the balance of its ecosystems. The Burmese python, once confined to its native Southeast Asia, has become infamous for its devastating impact on Florida's Everglades. Now this massive constrictor is making its way toward Texas, raising alarms among wildlife officials and conservationists. Burmese pythons are among the largest snakes in the world, capable of growing over 20 feet long and weighing up to 200 pounds. Their size and strength make them apex predators in any environment they invade. The introduction of these snakes to the United States began with the exotic pet trade. Many owners, unprepared for the responsibility of caring for such large reptiles, released them into the wild, where they quickly adapted and multiplied. In Texas, sightings and captures of Burmese pythons are increasing, especially near urban and rural interfaces, signaling a growing threat to local wildlife. In 2019, a 13-foot-long python containing 77 eggs was discovered near Houston. Since then, over 400 pythons have been caught in the state, indicating the potential for a self-sustaining breeding population. If these snakes establish themselves, the consequences could be catastrophic. Burmese pythons are ambush predators, capable of silently stalking and overpowering a wide range of prey. Their diet includes mammals, birds, and even large animals, such as adult deer and alligators, allowing them to disrupt entire food webs. In Florida, Burmese pythons have been linked to the near eradication of native mammal populations, with studies showing up to 99% declines in species like raccoons, opossums, and bobcats. Scientists warn that if a breeding population takes hold, Burmese pythons could spread throughout the southern half of Texas within 2 decades, putting countless native species at risk. Their cryptic coloration and secretive behavior make them extremely difficult to detect and remove. Combined with their high reproductive rate, this makes management and eradication a daunting task for wildlife agencies. Alongside the python threat, Texas faces another formidable invader, the snakehead fish, a predatory species that has already caused ecological havoc in other parts of the United States. Native to Asia, snakehead fish are aggressive ambush predators, equipped with rows of sharp, needle-like teeth and a relentless appetite for native fish and amphibians. These fish can reach lengths of up to 3 feet, and lacking natural predators in North America, can quickly dominate new habitats. Wherever snakeheads become established, they have been known to decimate native fish populations, outcompeting and preying upon local species. One of the most alarming features of the snakehead is its ability to breathe air using a primitive lung, allowing it to survive in low-oxygen environments where other fish cannot. This adaptation also enables snakeheads to survive out of water for several days and even move across land, traveling between ponds, rivers, and lakes in search of new territory. The spread of snakehead fish toward Texas is already underway, with established populations in neighboring states and increasing reports of sightings near the Texas border. Anglers in Arkansas have already caught snakeheads alarmingly close to Texas, raising concerns about their imminent arrival. The interconnected river systems between Arkansas and Texas provide a natural pathway for these fish to invade new waters, making containment extremely challenging. Texas's warm climate and abundant aquatic habitats create ideal conditions for snakehead fish to thrive, reproduce, and spread rapidly. Recognizing the severe threat posed by snakeheads, Texas law strictly prohibits the possession or release of live snakehead fish. Wildlife officials and law enforcement agencies are vigilant in enforcing these regulations. Any angler who catches a snakehead is required by law to kill it immediately, preventing this aggressive predator from gaining a foothold in Texas waters. Ongoing public education campaigns and rapid response efforts are crucial in the fight to protect Texas's native wildlife from these relentless invaders. Texas waterways are under siege from two of the most notorious aquatic invaders, water hyacinth and Asian carp. These species threaten not only the health of our rivers and lakes, but also the livelihoods and traditions that depend on them. Water hyacinth, with its striking purple flowers and lush green leaves, may look beautiful, but beneath the surface it is a relentless destroyer. It is considered one of the world's most invasive aquatic plants, and Texas has become one of its battlegrounds. Native to the Amazon basin in South America, water hyacinth was first brought to North America as an ornamental plant for ponds and gardens. However, it quickly escaped cultivation and began spreading through natural waterways. Its growth rate is astonishing. Under ideal conditions, a small patch of water hyacinth can multiply exponentially, covering an entire acre of water in just 8 months. This rapid expansion is fueled by its ability to reproduce both by seed and by sending out runners that form new plants. The plant forms thick floating mats that can completely blanket lakes, rivers, and canals. These mats block sunlight from reaching underwater plants, disrupting the entire aquatic ecosystem. The consequences are severe. Native aquatic plants die off, fish habitats are destroyed, and the natural balance of the ecosystem collapses. Without sunlight, submerged plants cannot photosynthesize and soon perish, leading to a cascade of ecological damage. As these plants decompose, they consume oxygen in the water, creating hypoxic or dead zones where fish and other aquatic life cannot survive. The thick mats also prevent oxygen from dissolving into the water from the air. Water hyacinth mats can make navigation impossible for boats, clogging propellers and blocking access to docks and marinas. This disrupts fishing, transportation and recreation, causing significant economic losses. Lake Conroe, near Houston, spends around $2 million every year just to keep water hyacinth under control. Mechanical removal, herbicide application and biological controls are all used, but none offer a permanent solution. The mats also trap still water, creating ideal breeding grounds for mosquitoes. This increases the risk of mosquito-borne diseases such as West Nile virus, posing a public health threat. While water hyacinth dominates the surface, a different threat lurks below, the Asian carp. This term refers to several species, including bighead, silver, grass, and black carp, all of which have become invasive in North America. Asian carp were originally imported from Asia in the 1970s to control algae and improve water quality in fish farms and wastewater treatment plants in the southern United States. Flooding allowed these carp to escape into the Mississippi River system, and they have been steadily migrating upstream, spreading into new waterways, including those in Texas. Asian carp are massive, with some individuals reaching up to 100 pounds. Their size and strength make them formidable competitors for native fish. These fish are voracious filter feeders, consuming up to 40% of their body weight in plankton every day. This puts them in direct competition with native fish and other aquatic organisms that rely on plankton as a primary food source. As Asian carp populations grow, they outcompete native species, leading to declines in native fish populations and threatening the entire aquatic food web. Silver carp are notorious for their leaping behavior. When startled by boat motors, they can jump up to 10 feet out of the water, sometimes in large numbers. These airborne fish can collide with boaters, causing serious injuries such as broken bones and concussions. This makes recreational boating hazardous in infested waters. Asian carp have already reached the Red River on the Texas-Oklahoma border, and their spread into Texas waterways is a growing concern. If Asian carp established themselves in major Texas river systems like the Trinity or the Brazos, the consequences could be catastrophic. The state's $15 billion recreational fishing and boating industries are at risk, and the ecological character of Texas waterways could be changed forever. To combat these invaders, Texas uses a combination of mechanical removal, targeted fishing, barriers, and public education. Biologists monitor rivers for early detection, and research is ongoing into new control methods such as genetic techniques and improved barriers to prevent further spread. For water hyacinth, management includes herbicide spraying, mechanical harvesting, and the introduction of natural enemies like weevils that feed on the plant. However, these methods are costly and require constant effort. Preventing the spread of both water hyacinth and Asian carp relies heavily on public cooperation. Boaters are urged to clean their boats and equipment before moving between water bodies and to report sightings of invasive species to authorities. The future of Texas waterways depends on vigilance, innovation, and a commitment to protecting native ecosystems. Without continued action, these invaders could permanently alter the landscape, economy, and natural heritage of the state. The battle against invasive species in Texas is a complex and ongoing war fought on multiple fronts. In our backyards, on our farms, in our lakes, and across our vast wildlands. As we've seen, the invaders are diverse and relentless. From the destructive rooting of feral hogs and the fiery stings of red imported fire ants to the silent threat of Chagas disease, from kissing bugs and the waterway-choking growth of water hyacinth, each species presents a unique and formidable challenge. They threaten our economy, our health, and the very fabric of Texas' natural heritage. The cost of inaction is just too high to ignore. This fight matters to every single Texan. The health of our environment is directly linked to our own quality of life. The ecological balance that these invaders disrupt is the same system that provides us with clean water, clean air, and the recreational opportunities that we cherish. When native fish populations crash because of zebra mussels or Asian carp, a part of our state's culture and economy disappears. When Asian tiger mosquitoes spread disease, our communities suffer. The problem is not distant or abstract. It's here, and it affects our daily lives in ways both seen and unseen. So, what can be done? The answer lies in a united front. Government, communities, and individuals, each playing a vital role in this fight. The government must continue to lead with strong policies, funding, and enforcement. Agencies are responsible for monitoring invasive species, supporting research, and coordinating rapid response teams. They must invest in public education, provide resources for landowners, and ensure that laws are in place to prevent the introduction and spread of new invaders. Communities have the power to organize local action. Neighborhood groups, schools, and organizations can host cleanup days, remove invasive plants, and share information about best practices. Local leaders can encourage responsible landscaping, promote native species, and support local conservation projects. By working together, communities can create a network of vigilance and rapid response. As individuals, every Texan can make a difference. Boaters can help stop the spread of zebra mussels and water hyacinth by always cleaning, draining, and drying their boats and equipment before moving to a new body of water. Homeowners can eliminate standing water to reduce mosquito breeding grounds and choose to plant native species in their gardens instead of exotic ornamentals that could escape and become invasive. Awareness is our most powerful weapon. By learning to identify invasive species and understanding the harm they cause, we can become the eyes and ears on the ground, reporting new infestations before they get out of control. Responsible pet owners must never release unwanted animals into the wild. Support policies and organizations dedicated to preserving our native ecosystems. Advocate for funding, volunteer for local projects, and spread the word about the importance of protecting Texas from invasive species. The future of Texas's iconic landscapes and diverse wildlife depends on our collective vigilance and action. It's our shared responsibility to protect the Lone Star State from these unwelcome invaders and ensure that its natural beauty endures for generations to come. Stand with your fellow Texans, take action, stay informed, and be a guardian of our land. Together, we can secure a thriving, resilient Texas for the future. Agriculture is the backbone of Texas's economy, and invasive species pose a serious threat to this vital industry. These uninvited guests wreak havoc on our crops, livestock, and farming operations, leading to significant economic losses and requiring farmers to take extraordinary measures to protect their livelihoods. Gap 2S. Take, for instance, the feral hogs. These destructive animals root through fields, causing widespread damage to crops like corn, wheat, and rice. Their relentless foraging leads to reduced yields and increased costs for farmers who have to repair fences and replant damaged areas. The economic impact is staggering, with losses estimated at over $52 million annually just from crop damage alone. Gap 2S. Then there are the red imported fire ants, which have become a persistent menace in Texas. These aggressive insects not only pose a risk to human health, but also to livestock and crops. They damage irrigation systems, attack young plants, and even harm livestock by stinging them, leading to additional medical costs and reduced productivity. The combined economic burden from fire ant infestations is estimated to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars each year. Gap 2S. Another significant threat comes from the zebra mussels, which clog irrigation pipes and water intake systems. This leads to increased maintenance costs and reduced water availability for crops. Farmers are forced to invest in costly filtration systems and repairs, diverting funds that could otherwise be used to improve their operations. Gap 2S. Asian tiger mosquitoes are also a concern. These pests not only spread diseases to humans, but also to livestock, affecting their health and productivity. Farmers must invest in mosquito control measures to protect their animals, adding yet another layer of expense to their already tight budgets. Gap 2S. In response to these threats, Texas farmers are adopting innovative strategies to combat invasive species. Many are turning to integrated pest management (IPM) practices, which combine biological, cultural, and chemical methods to control pests while minimizing environmental impact. This includes using natural predators, crop rotation, and targeted pesticide applications to keep invasive species at bay. Gap 2S. Additionally, farmers are collaborating with researchers and government agencies to develop new technologies and practices to protect their crops and livestock. This partnership is crucial in staying ahead of the invasive species threat and ensuring the long-term sustainability of Texas agriculture. Gap 2S. The fight against invasive species is not just a battle for our natural landscapes, but also for the heart of Texas's economy. By supporting our farmers and investing in research and education, we can help safeguard the agricultural heritage of the Lone Star State. Together, we can ensure that Texas remains a thriving hub of agricultural innovation and productivity for generations to come. Gap 2S. Stand with Texas's farmers, support local agriculture, advocate for policies that protect our crops and livestock, and stay informed about the threats posed by invasive species. Our collective efforts will help secure a prosperous future for Texas agriculture and the communities that depend on it. While invasive species have caused significant disruption across Texas, nature itself offers some of the most effective solutions. Native predators and biological control agents play a crucial role in managing invasive populations and restoring balance to our ecosystems. Take, for example, the resurgence of native predators like coyotes, bobcats, and certain raptors. These animals naturally prey on invasive rodents and small mammals, helping to limit their spread. In several regions of Texas, increased coyote activity has coincided with a noticeable decline in populations of invasive nutria, large destructive rodents that damage wetlands and crops. But biological control isn't just about native predators. Scientists and land managers are also introducing carefully selected natural enemies to target specific invaders. For instance, the release of the tamarisk leaf beetle has shown promise in controlling invasive salt cedar trees along Texas waterways. These beetles feed exclusively on salt cedar, weakening the trees and allowing native vegetation to recover. Similarly, parasitoid wasps have been introduced to combat the spread of invasive fire ants. These wasps lay their eggs inside fire ant pupae, drastically reducing the number of new ants emerging. This targeted approach helps suppress fire ant populations without harming native insects or wildlife. Research and monitoring are key to these efforts. Scientists carefully study the interactions between native species, invasive pests, and introduce control agents to ensure that biological control is both effective and environmentally safe. Ongoing projects in Texas are exploring the use of native fish to control mosquito larvae in standing water, reducing the spread of diseases while benefiting aquatic ecosystems. By harnessing the power of nature and science, Texas is finding sustainable ways to combat invasive species, supporting research, protecting native predators, and responsibly applying biological control are vital steps in preserving our state's natural heritage. Nature's own allies may be some of our strongest partners in the fight to protect Texas, from its wild landscapes to its vital farmlands. While nature and science are powerful allies, the fight against invasive species in Texas also relies on strong legislative and policy measures. Over the past decade, Texas lawmakers have recognized the growing threat of invasive plants and animals, responding with targeted laws and enforcement strategies to protect the state's environment, agriculture, and economy. One landmark step was the passage of the Texas Invasive Species Coordinating Committee Act, which established a multi-agency task force to streamline response efforts. This committee brings together experts from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, Texas Department of Agriculture, and other key agencies, ensuring a unified front against new and existing invasions. Recent legislation has strengthened restrictions on the importation and transport of high-risk species such as zebra mussels, snakehead fish, and exotic plants. These laws require watercraft owners to clean, drain, and dry their boats to prevent aquatic hitchhikers from spreading between lakes. Violators face hefty fines, and regular inspections are conducted at popular boat ramps and waterways. Enforcement is a crucial component. Texas game wardens and agricultural inspectors are on the ground, monitoring shipments, conducting field checks, and responding swiftly to reports of illegal releases. They collaborate with local partners to trace the movement of invasive species and shut down activities that threaten Texas ecosystems. Public awareness campaigns like the Clean, Drain, Dry initiative and outreach at outdoor events help residents and visitors understand their responsibilities under state law. Informational signage, digital alerts, and educational workshops reinforce the message that everyone plays a role in compliance and reporting. Through robust policy, vigilant enforcement, and ongoing education, Texas is building a legal shield against invasive species. These measures work hand in hand with nature's own defenses, ensuring that the state's unique landscapes and resources are protected for generations to come. Texas is a land defined by its water. From the winding rivers that carve through the hill country to the vast reservoirs supplying cities and farms, these aquatic lifelines are at the heart of the state's identity and prosperity. But beneath the surface, a silent war is raging, one that threatens the health of every stream, lake, and wetland. Invasive species like zebra mussels, giant salvinia, and water hyacinth have found their way into Texas waters. Zebra mussels, with their razor-sharp shells, clog water intake pipes, damage boats, and outcompete native species. Giant salvinia and water hyacinth form dense mats that choke waterways, block sunlight, and deplete oxygen, suffocating fish and other aquatic life. The result? Reduced water quality, increased maintenance costs, and impaired recreational opportunities for anglers and boaters. The fight to protect Texas waters is relentless. State agencies deploy rapid response teams to contain outbreaks, using specialized boats and equipment to remove invasive plants and monitor water bodies for new threats. High-tech barriers and filtration systems are installed at water treatment plants and dam intakes to keep invaders out of critical infrastructure. Education is key. Boaters and anglers are urged to follow strict clean, drain, dry protocols, while signage at boat ramps warns of the risks of transporting hitchhiking species. Partnerships with local water authorities and community groups amplify these efforts, ensuring that vigilance extends from the largest reservoirs to the smallest neighborhood ponds. The stakes are high. Texas depends on its water resources for drinking, irrigation, recreation, and wildlife habitat. By recognizing the dangers posed by invasive species and taking action at every level, Texans are working to safeguard these vital waters for the future, so that every river, lake, and reservoir remains a source of life and pride for generations to come. As the battle against invasive species intensifies, Texas is turning to cutting-edge technology to gain the upper hand. From the skies to the labs, innovative tools are revolutionizing how we detect, manage, and eradicate these unwelcome invaders. High above Texas waters, drones equipped with advanced imaging systems provide a bird's-eye view of infested areas. These aerial scouts can cover vast territories quickly, capturing high-resolution images that help pinpoint the spread of invasive plants and animals. With the ability to access remote or difficult terrains, drones are an invaluable asset in early detection and rapid response efforts. On-the-ground artificial intelligence, AI, is transforming data into action. AI algorithms analyze drone footage, satellite images, and environmental data, identifying patterns and predicting the movement of invasive species. This predictive power enables state agencies to deploy resources more efficiently, targeting hotspots before they become unmanageable. In the realm of genetics, researchers are exploring groundbreaking techniques to combat invaders at their core. Genetic tools, such as CRISPR, offer the potential to disrupt the reproductive cycles of invasive species, reducing their populations over time. Environmental DNA, eDNA sampling, another innovative method, allows scientists to detect the presence of invasive species in water bodies by analyzing traces of genetic material left behind, providing an early warning system for new infestations. These technological advancements are supported by a network of sensors and monitoring devices scattered throughout Texas's waterways. These smart sensors continuously collect data on water quality, temperature, and other critical parameters, feeding real-time information into centralized databases. This constant stream of data helps experts track the health of ecosystems and swiftly respond to any signs of invasive activity. The integration of these technologies into Texas's invasive species management strategy is a testament to human ingenuity and determination. By harnessing the power of drones, AI, and genetic tools, Texas is not only defending its natural heritage, but also setting a precedent for other regions facing similar challenges. In this era of innovation, the fight against invasive species is more than a struggle for survival. It's a testament to the relentless pursuit of solutions that safeguard our ecosystems for the future. Together, through technology and vigilance, Texans are paving the way for a resilient and thriving environment. While Texas stands strong in its battle against invasive species, victory requires more than solo effort. Invasive threats don't recognize borders. They spread across rivers, prairies, and highways, impacting entire regions. That's why Texas has forged powerful alliances with neighboring states like Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and New Mexico, as well as with Mexico, to form a united front against these relentless invaders. Joint task forces coordinate surveillance and rapid response, sharing real-time data on outbreaks of pests like the red imported fire ant and aquatic menaces such as zebra mussels. Cross-border patrols monitor waterways, while regional workshops bring together experts in agriculture, wildlife management, and environmental science to develop shared strategies. These partnerships result in synchronized containment efforts. When one state detects an invasive species, the alert goes out to the entire network, allowing for swift action before the invader can spread. On the Rio Grande, collaborative projects with Mexican agencies focus on controlling waterborne invaders and restoring native habitats. Shared research grants fuel innovation, enabling the development of tools and techniques that benefit the entire region. From coordinated prescribed burns to unified public awareness campaigns, these initiatives demonstrate the strength of teamwork, yet the challenges are immense. Different regulations, funding levels, and priorities can complicate collaboration. Nevertheless, the shared goal of protecting the land and livelihoods of millions keeps these partnerships strong. By working together, Texas and its neighbors are building a regional shield, one that stands resilient against the ever-changing tactics of invasive species. In the broader fight for ecological balance, these alliances prove that when borders unite rather than divide, the odds tilt in favor of preservation and recovery.